Hello, my name is Martin Camden. I don't really know what to call myself, but just now in writing a few notes, I've decided to call myself an executive coach. And anyway, I've just watched a video where Jordan B. Peterson, Professor Jordan B. Peterson, of the he's I think head of psychology at the University of Toronto in Canada, and there's a video with him taking on Helen Lewis, and sorry, Helen, that I I can't remember how to explain your current role in the world, but it's an important role. So, Helen, carry on, keep up the good work. I like what you're doing. Now, having watched this debate, and I think the title of the video, and perhaps I should have written it down, but probably just type in a search term, something search term of Jordan Peterson and Helen Lewis, and I think it's probably the most recent video I'd like you to watch, but watch without taking sides if you can, and the caption on the video is something like I don't know. I wish I'd written this down. I don't know. I mean, some people think that Jordan Peterson sweeps the floor with people like Helen, and others think that Helen is raising valid points, which Jordan is not taking seriously, to say the least. Perhaps I don't know what his term is. Perhaps he labels what's going on here as woman-splaining. Whatever. Okay. Onto my notes. I'd like people to actually watch this video of mine all the way through several times, and until a few pennies start dropping in all the right places, because this triangle of Jordan, Helen, and me, Coach Martin Camden, executive coach Martin Camden, could once understood in all right places, might actually finally start a process of healing this seemingly godforsaken world of ours. Okay, so without further ado, here we go. Here are my notes. Right, Helen Lewis, the sacrificial lamb, takes on, pardon me, Jeepers Creepers on. Is that right? Yeah, pardon me, Jeepers Creepers on. It's a sort of a spoonerism of Jordan's name. Pardon me. Excuse me, I have something to say here. Jeepers Creepers on. He's got his Jesus sandals on. Helen talks a lot of crap. Helen talks a lot of craps. Sorry, Helen, but Jordan just goes into unreasonable domination mode every time she makes a spot-on point. Jordan and Helen both want the same thing. They both want world peace through the annihilation of all unproductive and counterproductive, time-wasting, effort-wasting, and money-wasting, anti-empathetic encounter therapy. Therapy in quotation marks. Both seem to be thoroughly averse to eking out the gems of wisdom hidden behind the other's noise. Now, this is interesting because Jordan Peterson, in his book, the 12 Rules of Life or whatever it is, he says an absolute truism. Never, ever, ever dismiss anyone totally, because everyone has access to knowledge that up until that moment you have been oblivious to. So anyone who sort of fancies themselves in the know-it-all department is most likely to be a menace rather than a saviour. So anyway, I'll say it again. They both seem to be thoroughly averse to eking out the gems of wisdom hidden behind the other's noise. Both are arrogant. Jordan has come to see himself as unassailable as a result of his, well, this is speculation on my part, as he's come to see himself as unassailable as a result of his overly indulgent father. Well, Jordan, what do you think of that guess? Jordan and hang on, wrong page. Helen, again wrong page. Moving on, so Jordan has come to see himself as unassailable as a result of his overindulgent father, and Helen is in denial about needing a cuddle from a real man who loves her, for her true self. Her true self, the self that lies behind her pathological oppositional defiant disorder, arising from her pathological demand avoidance, and or demand sensitivity disorders, arising from, well, I don't know yet what. I don't yet know what, should I guess at this moment? Jordan's father was overindulgent, and perhaps Helen's father was a strict disciplinarian, and Helen saw the upside of that, and whatever. Helen, put Helen and Jordan with my speculations. Will you both try and put me right? Moving on. Jordan, like most patriarchal men, uses what? Uses dismissive incredulity as a weapon. But Helen doesn't explain herself very well. I feel for Helen. I want to take away her pain. Jordan, I just have to take you on. Hang on. Jordan Peterson. I just have to take Jordan Peterson on to get him to cut out his mansplaining, which perhaps should be called man pooping, because he shits almost violently on everything that doesn't square with his ever-growing set of interlocking schemas. This phenomenon arising from abreactional what? Hang on, lost my notes again. Arising from oh God. Well, oh God, this is the trouble with making things up in a hurry. Let's start again on that one. Jordan, I just have to take on to get him to cut out his mansplaining, which perhaps should be called man pooping, because he shits almost violently on everything that doesn't fit, doesn't square with his ever-growing set of interlocking schemas. This phenomenon arising from abreactionism, from having to prove himself not wrong in all matters that seem to puzzle most other people greatly. So I mean, I think Jordan Peterson's trying to remove puzzlement from the male community. I mean, I've heard it said, and I think I have to agree with this, that womankind, or the female culture, certainly in the UK, these things are culturally dependent. So India, Japan, and are going to be somewhat different, and Australia. But yeah, Jordan seems to be trying to remove puzzlement from the world, but from the world of men, because the way it's been put to me is that women put men, certainly in the UK, into a permanent state of what the fuck. I mean, women are not just puzzling men in the UK. They're putting men into a total state of bafflement. And when baffled, men won't take things like bafflement lying down. They look for a solution. Sorry about the cough. And the solution that ever more men are coming up with is the MGTOW solution. If the system is rigged against men, then remove yourself from the game. Marriage used to have an upside for men and women. Important upsides. The upside of marriage has disappeared for men, and so MGTOW are saying that feminism is cancer, and they're saying marriage is nothing more than expensive prostitution. And MGTOWs are also saying, well, actually, who can blame women for taking this option? Gynocentricity in government, government pandering to women to get the female vote means that sort of the government are giving options to women that are not available to men, and what woman in her right mind wouldn't sort of say no to these freebies, rights granted to them without responsibilities. Now, the only exception to this rule I know of is a female commentator on YouTube called Karen Strawn. Karen goes under a channel name of Girl Writes What? ? Karen, with her divorce, she's now happily married to a different man, but with her messy divorce, divorce that could have been messy, she said no to many of the privileges that governments grant wives in divorce situations. And but then look up this video of Karen's. I might sort of look it up myself and feed my audience with some useful pointers. But there's a video. Oh yes, there's a video with Karen Strawn, Girl Writes What, being interviewed by Cassie J, the producer, director, filmmaker of the Red Pill movement, which is sort of where Cassie wants to know what was behind men's rights activism and MGTOW, etc. And she made this film and actually found out, and she stopped being a feminist and started getting on a lot better with her boyfriend. Anyway, so that video of Karen Strawn being interviewed by Cassie J, well worth watching. And in that video, Karen says, when she divorced her first husband, she did not want to. The government empowered her to take her husband to cleaners and punish him greatly, but she didn't think. She saw herself as perhaps equally guilty and didn't want to punish him. Didn't want to take advantage of all these privileges. But would you believe it? According to Karen, the system forced her to take advantage where she didn't want to take advantage. This is how sick the system has become. And anyway, so carrying on with my analysis of the Jordan Helen interview, I would say that to Jordan, anything that puzzles him must be wrong, and he sets about proving these things wrong, by appeal to one psychological piece of psychological evidence, after another, but I think his evidence is selective, and counter evidence perhaps doesn't get investigated. I'm not sure. Anyway, from Helen's point of view, she's right to be puzzled. She's puzzled about many things, and from her point of view, she's right to be puzzled. And when there's something out there that's puzzling, why shouldn't one be puzzled? But Helen just refuses to drown, putting this metaphorically, Helen just refuses to drown in a veritable ocean of man-turds. I'll say that again. It probably won't be understood by most, but, I want to get people thinking. I want those pennies to start dropping. To Helen, she's right to be puzzled by things that are actually puzzling. Her puzzlement is not pathological. But Helen just refuses to drown in a veritable ocean of man-turds. Anyway, like most feminist reactionaries, Helen's biggest puzzle is why attracting strong men into her life, what am I haven't written this very well. Helen's biggest puzzle is why it's hard to attract strong men into her life, or when she finds a man who's strong, these strong men see her as wrong about virtually everything. Now, I believe Helen's married. Correct me if I'm wrong, Helen, but I'd like to know something about the relationship with your husband. Is he a doormat, or does he, is he of any use to you? Does he help you with your quest in trying to save the world, rid the world of nonsense, rid the world of unnecessary confusion? I think we could all benefit from knowing something about that. Anyway, so when all women, they're not all women, in the UK, perhaps virtually all women, when men, individually and collectively, are labelling them as wrong about virtually everything. So, Helen smells a rat. She can't prove. She finds it hard to prove that there's nothing wrong with her intellect, but she's wrong so often in the eyes of men, or the patriarchy, that anyway. I'll go back to my notes. Helen smells a rat that feminists call the patriarchy, and adopts the position that she can't be wrong about anything either. Jordan thinks he can't be wrong about anything. He's got a track record of being right and receiving accolades, for breaking through, nonsense, especially politically correct nonsense, So they both find themselves they can't be wrong about anything. But then when Helen finds herself believing that she just can't be wrong, the evidence in her eyes is overwhelming. But anyway, to Helen's credit, she gets her stuff out there despite monumental opposition from Jordan Peterson and the people on his side of the argument. So will Helen ever be able to catch Jordan out with the Jordan Peterson style gotcha? On a couple of occasions in the interview that I'm talking about, Jordan went much silent. He went silent for a long period of time. She was actually asking him questions, forcing him to reassess, and these silences were telling. And but Jordan got out of these messes by coming up with something, and probably something that didn't convince me. But I would love to see. Jordan Peterson, when interviewed by Cathy Newman, he came up with something which Cathy had no answer to, and Jordan Peterson announced to her, "Gotcha." That's another interview worth watching. Jordan Peterson versus Cathy Newman, plus any post analysis of that interview. So anyway, I was just waiting. I'm just waiting for that moment when Helen says something that Jordan's got no answer to, and then Helen can say, "Gotcha, gotcha." So we women are not quite so daft as your so-called scientific evidence makes out. Gotcha, and I don't know. When Jordan said "gotcha" to Kathy Newman, Kathy Newman muddled through so that she could carry on with the interview, and Jordan let her muddle through. I mean, if I'd been there, I wouldn't have missed that opportunity to ram certain messages home. But there we are, and basically, if Helen manages to get to be able to say to Jordan, "Gotcha, gotcha," I think Jordan will just sit there and listen. He'll just shut up and let Helen talk uninterrupted, which might be a remarkable thing to witness. Anyway, so let me see. The other way round, I mean, Helen might be able to say "gotcha" to Jordan, but the other way round, will Jordan one day, if he speaks to Helen often enough, with enough time to do some post-analysis thinking between interviews, will Jordan realise that Helen needs genuine human care and love, coupled with a complete absence of steamroller anti-diplomacy? Jordan needs to be taken down a notch or two, according to me, and he needs to learn how to be less hypocritical. And I, that's me, executive coach Martin Camden, am the man for this job. Jordan, where are you? I want to take you on. Come on, Jordan. Somebody get this video to Jordan. Jordan, I challenge you. Anyway, I'll carry on. Helen just needs a break. Can someone please give her a few, $1 million with which to make a difference? The way, difference. And I've written down the way of a woman scorned. They say hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Well, basically, Helen is being scorned by Jordan Peterson, and but she's keeping her cool. She's biding her time. She's keeping her cool. She's not sort of exploding all over the place in random directions like some women do. Helen is very intellectually disciplined and is keeping her cool despite perhaps some pretty unfair tactics from Mr. Professor Peterson. But like I say, Helen needs a break, and a few million or even $1 billion would help her to have the necessary break and make a difference. Not in the ways of the patriarchy, but in the ways of a woman too often scorned. And perhaps I can persuade Jordan to hand over to her at least half of his acquired wealth, wealth which has been acquired through stealthy talking in favour of unexamined zeitgeist memes, resulting in the kind of popularity which helps Jordan to conveniently overlook his own bollocks. Jordan, from time to time, you talk bollocks. Come on, take me on. I'll cut you down a peg or two, and then you, me, and Helen can coach the rest of the world on how to make peace with each other. Anyway, please, a message to everyone watching this. Please watch this video of mine ever over, at least 2 or 3 times until pennies start dropping, all over the place. Pennies start dropping in all places where those pennies need to drop, and just wrapping this talk off. I just feel I have to say the following. My parents both died recently. My beloved father died a couple of years ago. A remarkable man, very special father, and and also my mother. My mother, I've tapped into her wisdom too, and my ambition as a child was to be just like my father, without his rough edges, as pointed out by my mother. And here I am. I have arrived. Anyway, just to wrap up, I loved my mum. I loved my mum and dad, and I thank them both for that. Praise be to all prophets. Peace, mercy, and blessings be upon us all. Hallelujah. Amen.